Yeah, the dream. That's the dream to play for Arsenal one day, but you know, it's a long shot.
So a few days ago, Arsenal had a £60 million bid turned down for Aston Villa striker and Arsenal fan Ollie Watkins. And since then, Aston Villa have very quickly tied up a deal for Marcus Rashford, Marcos Asensio, they're very close to getting one done for João Felix, and they've already acquired Donyell Malen earlier in the window. Do we think that's a coincidence? I mean, it may be. I mean, Aston Villa could just be trying to strengthen their front line. It's perfectly plausible. You know, they're in a really difficult race for that top four for next year. They are in the knockout stages of the Champions League. Why wouldn't they strengthen? They've just sold John Duran to Al Nassr, of course, for £75 million. That was a big deal. And maybe it's just me, but it does feel like with Ollie Watkins, Donyell Malen, Leon Bailey, not to mention Morgan Rogers and Jacob Ramsey that have been playing in those forward positions for Villa, if you add on top of those João Felix, Marcus Rashford and Marcus Asensio, 8 for 3, that does just feel like they're slightly overstocked, and maybe, just maybe, they're preparing for Ollie Watkins to move on. And you've got to imagine, haven't you, that when Ollie Watkins heard of Arsenal's interest last week, he went to Unai Emery and just said, listen, please make this happen. Because as much as I'm sure he's loved his time at Aston Villa, it's very rare in a footballer's career that he gets to play for his boyhood team, the team he supported growing up. You know, he idolised Arsenal growing up. This would be a massive thing for him. And part of me, look, I have no skin in the game, but part of me hopes that he kind of gets his wish. And then the other side of the coin here is, would Ollie Watkins be a good signing for Arsenal? I mean, they would have to pay more than the 60 million they've already had rejected by Aston Villa, so what would it take to get him? 70? 80? I don't know, you let me know what you think, but it would certainly be a lot more than the 60 million they've already put in for Aston Villa to feel like, yeah, we can let him go. And plus, Aston Villa have got to get some more bodies in before the end of the transfer window, which, by the way, is in the next 24 hours. So all this has to happen very, very quickly. And look, I like Ollie Watkins. I think he's a very, very good centre-forward. He can certainly cause teams problems, but is he the sort of profile that takes you to a Premier League title? Is he the sort of profile that Arsenal were even looking for? I mean, it wasn't that long ago they were talking about Benjamin Sesko. Now, Benjamin Sesko is not the same sort of striker as Ollie Watkins. It's a different, completely different type of player. This, to me, I could be wrong, Arsenal fans, but to me it feels like this is maybe a desperate, a last-ditch attempt to try and reinvigorate Arsenal's attack, because all the Arsenal fans have been saying this for many, many years, and you know it feels like even Mikel Arteta's reaching the point now where he feels like with no Bukayo Saka in that front line, they do face challenges when they're faced with a low block. Ollie Watkins will 100% improve that. He will absolutely help Arsenal, and he'll score goals. That is of no doubt at all. And the bottom line here for Arsenal is for 75 million quid, you're getting admittedly a very good striker, but a striker whose goal record is 80 goals in his last 200 games for Aston Villa, and a player who's very nearly almost on the wrong side of 30. That deal, to me at least, doesn't represent great value for Arsenal. It represents fantastic value for Aston Villa, by the way. I think they've pulled a worldie here. Yes, they're losing Ollie Watkins, who's been a very good player for them over the years and has done really well and got them into the Champions League and all that sort of thing. And they're going to get Marcus Rashford in for maybe 40 million quid. I mean, they get him in on loan initially to try before you buy with Marcus Rashford. Is Ollie Watkins really that much better than Marcus Rashford? I'm not sure that he is. I think if you get Marcus Rashford bang in form, he's a better player than Ollie Watkins. Let me know what you think. Do you think Ollie Watkins is a good fit for Arsenal? Do you think at 70 million quid he would be good value at nearly 30 years old? Do you think Arsenal are making the right decision? Would they be better off going for a different type of striker, a Jonathan David or a Benjamin Sesko or maybe a Marcus Thuram, someone like that? Is that the sort of player they should be looking at? Who do you think they should be looking at? If you're an Aston Villa fan or even just a football fan in general, do you think that Marcus Rashford is an upgrade on Ollie Watkins? Or Aston Villa getting the better end of the deal here? Whatever your thoughts on that one, I'll be live here on YouTube for the Arsenal v Manchester City game later this afternoon. And please don't forget to give us a like, give us a subscribe. It really helps the channel. And I'll see you in the next one.